Hi, my name is Jason Hirons. I'm subject leader and senior lecturer in Contextual Studies at Plymouth College of Art. So I started as a poet. I wrote poetry at school, and I was encouraged by my teachers at that time to keep writing. I won some awards, some competitions, but it never really went anywhere at that point because I come from a traditionally working class background, and no one in my family had ever gone into higher education. I didn't know anybody who'd gone to university, anyone who worked in the creative industries. I didn't actually realize that was an option back then. So after I finished school, I went to a vocational college and I did a business studies course. Hated every single minute of that because numbers and me do not get on. But I persevered as I knew I needed to make a living. So I didn't think I could make a living as a writer at the time. So I figured out I'd best try and get something behind me. And I just kept writing for myself. And after I finished that course, I went to work in the civil service for a few years, and all the while I just kept writing. And at that point, I started making images too. I'd made photographs. I was writing songs, and I joined a local poetry group. And all of this time, I started to become surrounded by people who had been to university and had followed their dreams, and they all seemed like fascinating people. This new circle of friends I was making, they're all really interesting, confident people. And the confidence was the thing that struck me most. So I decided at the age of 25 that it was time I went myself because I realized there was a huge amount of knowledge that I was missing. And I wanted to experience the things my new friends had experienced. I was all set to go to university in Manchester to study creative writing. But one day before that, I was out for a drive on the moors. I live in Plymouth and I'm not far from Dartmoor. And I kind of accidentally discovered this crazy esoteric art college on a hill in the middle of Dartmoor. And it was less than 30 miles from my house, but I'd never heard of it. And it just kind of turned up on a day when they were having an open day. And it was a small place, but it was beautiful. And its teaching was based on the sorts of things I've been connecting with at the time. And most importantly for me, it was a community, and that's what I'd been looking for. So I applied and I got in, I gave up my job, and I took myself up to this place on this hill in this most bucolic surroundings. And then when I got there, I immediately found myself out of my depth. I thought to myself that I'd made a terrible mistake. And I was terrified that I was just going to be found out. Because everyone else around me just seemed so confident, so talented, so interesting. And there was me with my words. I was shy, I was overcautious, and I would have quit that first day if I could. But I'm stubborn, and I persevered because I'm also resilient. And I soon realized that being uncomfortable and being in a place of not knowing was one of the most important discoveries I'd ever made. And I think that's when I truly became a poet. The moment I realized that art should take you out of your comfort zone. So those 3 years at art college changed me completely. They set me on the way to becoming who I am as a performance artist, as a writer, and as a teacher. I had the best lecturers in the best place. I had learned to unlearn all of my bad habits. I learned to think critically about the world around me. I learned to ask questions, and then I learned to ask the right questions. I was finding my voice. After art college, I spent a few years making art and performing, working various little jobs to pay the rent as I developed my practice. And it was always important to me to have a job that was outside of art, as that continued to inform my art.